DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, indeed.
Joey Badass.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome.
How are you, my brother?
I'm great. I'm great.
You look healthy.
Good to be here. I am healthy.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know, I'm in a group chat, man, with Rob Markman and Hovain and B Dot, and a couple weeks ago they was like, "Yo, y'all got to listen to Joey Badass' new album." I hadn't gotten a chance to listen to it. Man, I listened to it a couple of days ago. Phenomenal body of work, my brother. Like, phenomenal. Like, rap album of the year category. It should be mentioned in that kind of conversation.
That means a lot coming from you. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. Definitely worked really hard on that. I'm super satisfied with the project. I feel like all of the feedback has been really good. And those are all my guys, too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Hovain, Rob, B Dot. Just saw him the other day. You know what I'm saying?
No, I texted him. I was like, "Yo, why y'all ain't tell me Joey Badass album was so good?" They was like, "We did." And he told me
listening.
And he told me he said you sat down with Rap Radar recently. I don't think it came out yet.
Yeah, shout out to Elliot as well. You know, that was good. Those are my guys, man. We're just keeping the conversation going.
Heavily inspired by the mixtape game, it seems like.
Oh, yeah.
With some of the first couple of samples, something in the way you make me feel in that.
Ooh, Stephanie Mills, yeah.
So let's talk about that, because as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, you could tell he was raised on mixtapes. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Right, yeah. I mean, you know, it was like an ordinary day. Pulled up on my man Static, shout out Static Selector. And he played that joint. And I ain't gonna lie, I laid that shit, and I didn't even care about it, really. I was just like, you know, because at that point, I was experimenting a lot, you know, with my sound. So when it came to, you know, the boom bap or the traditional style, I would just kind of be bored with that. I'd be like, this something I could do in my sleep. So I just kind of laid it and didn't think about it. But I was listening to it the next day, and then the next day, and the next day. I'm like, yo, this shit is fire. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, like, with the whole mixtape influence, direction, you know, that's what I was raised on. That's what I grew up on. And this project, you know, I'm more of a conceptual type of artist, but this one I really just kind of wanted to speak towards my lifestyle and things that I was living on a day-to-day basis, you know what I'm saying, bring people to my world. I feel like it's been 10 years since I've been in the game, and I feel like it was a perfect time for a reintroduction to Joey Badass. So that's kind of how I structured this joint. So
every time I see you, I feel like you should have grew up in the Hove and Nas era.
Yeah.
That's what even when I see you acting, I'm like, you are from that era. Like, your whole embodiment fits that era.
That's why I told him this morning, I was like, yo, I said, it's very New York, but still fresh.
Yeah.
That's how you move to me. Very New York, but still fresh with it.
Yeah, man, you know, when I came out at the time, man, it was like nobody had seen what I was doing, you know. But for me, it was kind of like a natural reaction to what was going on, you know what I'm saying, circa 2010, 2011. You know, a lot of stuff on the radio was like Young Money dominant. Then they started going West Coast with it, you know what I'm saying? And I just felt the need that New York needed something that, like, represented it again. You know what I mean? And that's kind of just where I fell in. And I feel like I filled that void kind of in a way. And, yeah, now it's just kind of part of my DNA.
You hated New York radio at that time. I know that.
Well, you know, I was a kid. I hated everything. You know what I mean? I hated literally everything. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to see nobody. I had no type of gauge on really what was going on and to the magnitude of how it was going.
And when did that change? Because, you know, when you first came out, I guess you could consider the introvert. Like, you really didn't fuck with too many people.
Yeah.
You were just kind of on your own.
Yeah.
And it's changed a lot since then.
Yeah, man, you know, when I first came out, I was very crew-based. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to go nowhere without my crew. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm in the spot, my whole gang is in the spot, and if they can't get in, then I'm not going in. You know, and that really had kept me in my own bubble, so a lot of people couldn't, like, approach me. And I was being told things early in my career, like, yeah, I'm unapproachable and stuff. I was like, word, like, I feel like I'm the nicest guy. You know what I'm saying? I could have a conversation with anybody. You know, it's really just time and experience that went on and kind of realizing how many opportunities I was leaving behind because I would straight up not go to certain rooms and tables because I couldn't roll 5 deep. You know what I'm saying? And I had to smarten up as I got older, and I realized, you know, you pack light. The lighter you pack, you know, the further you could fly, the further you could ascend. What's the quote? They say, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like...
Now, that's real, because I remember when you came out, people loved your music, but they didn't know anything about Joey Badass besides he's from Brooklyn and he runs with a lot of people. But like today, you came in and you talking about cars. I'm like, I never even know Joey was in the cars like that.
Yeah.
And I, I do so much. I'm like, yeah, but I'm glad to see you opening up people getting that, understanding you a lot more.
You know, when you're a new artist and you coming into the game, and that's why I have a lot of like empathy and like patience for like these newer guys. It's like you still introducing yourself. You know what I mean? People only can identify with the version of you where you caught the moment at. So say you got a song and it's about cheeseburgers. They like, this nigga like cheeseburgers.
Yeah, you the cheeseburger guy now.
They like, nigga, why you eating a glizzy? You know, they see you on the street, like, what the, you know what I mean? So it kind of just becomes a part of your identity and shit like that. And the more you grow and expand as an artist, you can introduce different sides of yourself. You know what I mean? So for me, being here 10 years, it's like I've been able to implement, you know, different sides as the time goes on, and I'm grateful for that.
Why did it take so long? Why 10 years between projects?
Oh, no, it wasn't 10 years between projects. It was 5 years.
I thought 99, when 99 came out.
When 99 was 10 years.
10 years. What was 5 years ago?
5 years was my last album, All American.
All American, All American Badass. All right. All right. But 5 years is a long time too in this business. Why 5 years?
Man, it wasn't no specific reason. Like it wasn't like I finished my last album and like, yeah, I'm gonna take 5 years. Or nah, it just happened that way, man. You know, I was experimenting, trying to find a new direction, trying to figure out which way I wanted to go. In addition, I had my first kid. You know, my daughter, she's 4 years old now. Started doing a lot of TV and film stuff, started taking off, so it was just really... But I'll tell you this, like, I ain't never planning on going away for that long again, you know.
Well, you were still on TV a lot though, so it didn't feel like
for sure
on TV.
For sure, but like it felt a little weird because I would be going to interviews with like music people and they want to talk to me about acting.
Well, you did win an Oscar, Joe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's kind of big.
Well, yeah.
The movie won an Oscar, but you starred in the movie.
Exactly, you know.
But does that make you feel a way when you go to interviews and people don't know you as a rapper and they know you more as an actor?
Nah, you know, it don't even make me feel a way, but it just made me feel as if, okay, it's been too long. These niggas about to forget that you rap. You know what I'm saying? These niggas about to just identify you as an actor. A lot of great people. I mean, shout out to everybody in the Power Universe, from Sasha Penn, Courtney Kemp, Fifth. Shout out to my man James Samuels. You know what I'm saying? These are just people who've been looking out for me in the film and TV world and kind of like helping me guide and steer myself into the right places. Because that shit is hard. You know what I mean? That shit is harder than music. Like, to be the lead role in a movie requires ample amount of time. Like, you got no time for yourself. I mean, I'm talking about from Breakfast Club hours all the way. It's like probably tour. And even tour is like, okay, yeah, you probably got to go to the next city, stay on the bus all day, but the work really is only for about an hour or 2 hours that night. You know what I'm saying? Everything else is kind of like just the shit that come with it, but acting is a way tougher job. I had like auditioned for a bunch of different like drama theater programs because when I was coming up, when it was time for me to go to high school, like I always was into music, but at the time there was no programs to go to like work on my raps. black kids. It was me and the homie Sadiq, who played Ghostface on Wu-Tang.
Wow.
So it was dope, you know what I'm saying?
Connecting back with him,
yeah, you know what I mean? Connecting back with him, the whole full circle joint. Because I was always reluctant about playing roles that were too close to who I am in real life, especially a rapper. I'm like, I don't want to be a rapper because I am a rapper. But when I got offered that, you know, it's Wu-Tang. Like, that's a big honor. And then RZA has been one of my mentors in this game for a long time. So I definitely wanted to come through for him. Like, I feel
Called 2000. By my calculations, you were 5 in 2000.
Yeah.
So what do you remember about that year?
Man, I remember so vividly being in pre-K. This had to be like right. And I was observant.
Now, tell me about the Jay-Z connection, because you referenced that a couple of times on the album on Make You Feel, and I might be paraphrasing it, but you say peep game like Jay. That's why he didn't sign me?
That's why he didn't sign us, keep the game at bay like the 49ers. Like, that line is inspired by, you know, because Jay is like, definitely, Jay's like an idol of mine.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I read his book, Decoded, and that line was inspired by a piece in Decoded when he said he met with Russell Simmons for the first time. And he details the experience as him, like, remembering sitting at that table. Tour. I was in Denver. He flew me back out to New York to meet with him. And, you know, I was a funny little nigga, so I walked in, and I'm like, yes. Like, nigga, whatever it is. He was sitting, like, behind his desk, kind of like how, look, Charlemagne is right there. But he was standing up, like, you know, doing the pacing back and forth and shit. And it was a dope experience, man, because at 17 years old, I felt so limitless. Like, it was probably like when I was 15 or 16, like, I visualized in my mind, like, I want to be signed to Jay-Z. So when I was going up in that Rock Nation building, like, a year or two later, I'm like, damn, I could do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm already intersecting with my idol. I'm already in alignment with my idol. Anything is possible. You know what I'm saying? That's how I looked at it, no matter what happened, whether it worked out or it didn't, you know?
Did he tell you why he didn't sign y'all?
It's funny, like, I always see him now, and I be wanting to have that conversation. But I feel like the time never permits, like, where we at. You know what I'm saying? It be stuff going on. But I be wanting to ask him that, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I was so young at the time, and to me, there was no reason. Shit like that, so I'm not really sure what exactly happened. Like, if the communication channels was like sabotaged or something like that, like, I don't know what happened, you know?
Because based off the album, it seems like y'all used to be up there a lot, like skateboarding in front of the building.
Well, yeah, they showed us a lot of love.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They show it to this day, you know, he looks out for me, shows me a lot of love. So it's just always been, you know, what's more like 3 degrees of separation. You know what I'm saying? Like, knowing mutual people and all that. So,
And also Chance to Rap. We had Chance to Rap up here, and he said, you guys were really close.
yeah.
How did y'all develop that relationship? How did y'all get so close?
Man, since the beginning, you know, like, I think I was probably the first dude in the industry to to like collab with Chance. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, and I remember seeing his video for Hey Miles, like his first single, and I remember seeing that shit right away, like, yo, this dude is a star. You know what I'm saying? And he was from Chicago. We had connected one time, and from there, we was just cool. You know what I'm saying? He was always a good dude to be around, good energy, good spirit. Structure. You know what I'm saying? Like, he taught me how to count bars and all that, because I'm like, what is a 16? And he kind of broke it down for me. It's kind of like, he's like, it's kind of like a line by line. You know what I'm saying? So having characters like that in my life at an early age definitely gave me like the extra confidence, you know what I'm saying, to do it, because while other kids was like kind of struggling, trying to figure out what they were doing, I actually had guidance. You know what I mean? Some type of guidance, like, you know, look, this how you write a rap. Boom, boom. Let me write your first rap for you. Let me get you set up. And then, you know, I had other older cousins who used to rap and shit like that. For a long time, it was a running joke, because when I was a kid, I used to always tell them, yo, y'all need to bring me to the studio. Boom, boom, boom. And then my shit blew up, and I was like, y'all niggas ain't bring me to the studio.
Do you remember writing your first rap?
My first rap. Nah. Like, I don't remember writing my first rap. But it must have been in like first grade, because that's when I was introduced to poetry, and I identified it as like, I was like, oh, this the shit that Biggie doing. That's like what my brain said, you know what I mean? And then from there, I got into poetry, but I would always do like rap style poems.
What did your family say back then when you started rapping? Because you got accepted to this great school, and,
Right.
but you wanted to rap.
Well, the thing is, I was already rapping before the school. You know what I'm saying? My family already knew that that's what I like to do. I ain't gonna lie, my family always been supportive. You know what I mean? Like, they was pretty much more like amazed by my conviction, because, you know, my mom used to kick me out. We used to fall out, and then I would go by my grandmom's, and I would set up a makeshift studio in the basement. So it was like, you know, it would be a running joke in my family, like, oh yeah, don't go down there and mess with Javon's studio stuff. You know what I mean? I would have like the towels hanging from the ceiling, create like a whole little booth. But I remember the first time I spit that verse that my cousin wrote for me for my mom's. I was like 9 years old. And shit went something like, my name is Little J and I got the 9. You mess with me and I blow off your mind. They hating cause I be on my grind and I always shine. Why you acting like you sell Glocks? Or I put a pipe bomb in your mailbox. Some shit like that, right? I'm 9 years old.
Your ass up.
I don't even know what the fuck I'm
She
really talking
snatched you
about
up.
for real. Nah, she even snatched me up. She was like, do you know what a 9 is? And I was like, to me, I'm like, I'm 9, so it just sounds like 9 years old, you feel me? I'm like, nah. She was like, it's a gun. First of all, I was like, word? And then she gave me the realest advice. She was like, yo, look, if you want to do this, you could do that. But you just got to be true to yourself. And from there, I just kind of took that and ran with it.
She didn't say nothing about the pipe bomb?
Nah, I think she kind of figured out that it wasn't my words. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else was involved in that.
Now, I love Written in the Stars, too. You mentioned your daughter earlier. You said your daughter was your wake-up call. What did that wake-up call look like to you?
Yeah, you know, when I had my daughter, it was like, oh, shit, I only got one kid. You know what I mean? I felt so obligated in the earlier years of my career to take care of people and, you know, look out for people, and to the point where, you know, a lot of the times it burned me out, you know, feeling like guilt, survivor's guilt and things of that nature. But, you know, when my baby girl came, it was like, oh, okay, this is really the only especially when it comes to, you know, spending and living. I mean, shit, I'm a very spontaneous type of dude. So one thing that I realized quick was like, oh shit, I don't got the same freedom I used to have. Like, I would be able to go to Africa tomorrow. Now, you know what I'm saying? I gotta set it up, make sure everything's good, she good, like weeks in advance. You know, I say it made me more patient.